Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Sandown Park, which is our final race of the day from EKS Round 2. And of course, it is the heavyweight feature race. It is a grid that has been set by the points gained from the first two rounds. As you can see, all of the drivers formed up behind Pacecart, Dante, Dylan as they go through into turn 2. And your grid is Matthew Boulton on pole position, 50 points from our first two races. Tom Angier in second with 44. Vito Dakers in third with Matt Putland in fourth. Dane Christensen is on 33 points with 18 and 15 in his first two races. Mark Martin starts sixth with Terry Battersby down in seventh. Drivers are still making their way around this circuit, of course, on that formation lap. We'll wait to see when we get this race underway. It'll be interesting to see this Matthew Boulton and Tom Angier battle, of course, as they go on through this race. I'm your commentator, Tom Dillon, as we see Matthew Boulton talking away in his helmet, of course, as he makes his way around turn 7 now into turn 8. It's got to be a fiery start from Matt if he's going to make it 3 from 3. Here we go. Green flag for the final time, and it's the heavyweights at Sandown Park as they go across the line. It's Boulton in the lead, but he's out-dragged by Tom Angier down into turn 1. Here's Angier on the outside line, all over the curbs, going to lose out on a couple of positions, actually. Tom Angier loses out to the 143 of Matt Putland, loses out to Vito Dakers as well, I should say. Dane Christensen there is trying to attack Tom as well. Tom here looking to try and get himself into position to attack Matthew once more. Here he'll start on Vito Dakers. Down the inside he goes, up into turn 4. Tom is able to get that position, looks for a double overtake as well. It's going to be Putland that he tries to attack. He's not able to do so on that occasion, but he's able to get up into 4th position. Fantastic start, fantastic recovery, I should say, from Tom Angier. Here he goes now, trying to get that better exit as they go through turn 7. He's going to try and sneak one down the inside, potentially. Here he goes, late on the brakes. Tom Angier down the inside of Matt Putland, and I think he's got that move nice and safely. So at the end of lap 1, as he still tries to out-drag Putland down into turn 1, which he'll do quite safely. There's actually no change to the position of Tom Angier, who is able to get back up into 2nd position. You can see there Vito Dakers sending one down the inside of Matt Putland as well. He's able to get himself up into 3rd position as we go back to Tom Angier. He has now got a lot of work to do to try and catch up to Matthew Boulton. 2.7 seconds between the two of them. It's not going to be easy at all for him to be able to do that. Matthew, of course, is on absolute fire at the moment. This is the battle for first then. Tom Angier against Matthew Boulton. Tom doing very well to play catch up here. 2.7 seconds in the space of just a few laps. He's caught up, and now he's trying to attack Tom. Trying to attack Matthew, I should say. Here's Tom. Goes through that turn 8, that final corner now, trying to get that better exit. It's the 134 cart at the moment. Does seem like he's losing a little bit of speed just at the end of the straights there. Matthew clearly struggling with adjusting to his guards a little bit more than Tom has done. Tom, who is absolutely rapid at the moment, 5/10 of a second across the line. You can see the rest of your order in the top left-hand corner. Here late on the brakes once more. Very close indeed. Will he find a move down the inside? He won't. He's cut off ever so slightly from Matthew Boulton, who is still only 16 years of age, weighs up to get into the heavyweight class. Perhaps he feels he's got a better chance of the championship here, and after today's performance he is, but he's still trying to make this a perfect 3 from 3, and Tom Angier in this mood is not going to let that happen easily. Here he goes, getting a great exit out of turn 8 into the slipstream of Matthew Boulton. Look at the speed down into turn 1. Tom Angier not able to pull alongside though. Matthew Boulton, your top right-hand corner, is still trying to hold him off, but he's not had to go defensive just yet. He's still just focusing on his lines, trying not to move, not to lose too much time. It's still 0.3 of a second, the gap between the two of them. This is a good exit from Tom, though. Will he have to switch to the outside? Matthew now defends that inside line. Tom's going to have to go the long way round. Here he goes, all the way around the outside. Tom Angier, he couldn't, could he? Down into turn 5. finally gets that move to stick. That is fantastic stuff from Tom Angier, but Matthew Boulton is now back down the inside. Tom having to swoop around the outside, now has the inside for turn 7 into turn 8, still going defensive. Matthew Boulton is not giving this one up, but Tom Angier eventually gets to the apex of the corner. A little look over the right shoulder to make sure he's not having to take a defensive line down into turn 1. Tom is up into the lead of the race, and a man who has fought so hard, actually led a couple of the races here this evening. A man who had to fight so hard for that is finally into the lead of the race, but there's Matthew back down the inside. A little bit of contact between the two of them. Tom is able to hold on for the time being. Will he hold on furthermore, though? Through turn 5 they go again, and it is still the lead of the race for Tom Angier. So, taking the last lap board, acknowledging it with his right hand, is Tom Angier. It has been a fantastic second stint to this race. Going through turn 1 now, 4.1 seconds. He's managed to pull out from Matthew Boulton, who he's raced so hard today. Didn't get the better of him in either of the first 2 races, of course. But here he goes now, up into turn 4, Tom. Loves to do his vlogs of these videos of these races as well, makes little videos and puts them together on his YouTube channel. And I'm sure this will be one that he replays for quite a while, because after a terrible getaway, he's able to recover all the way to a dominant victory. Turn 8 now for Tom Angier. Here he goes, crossing the line and taking the checkered flag. Tom Angier finally, in this race, in this event at Sandown Park, gets one over on Matthew Boulton. It is the most fantastic drive he has put together all afternoon long. Spectacular battling further through the field as well, as we switch to your static camera to just see the nature of that gap, albeit it will have extended a little bit as Matthew, no doubt exhausted from a hard day's work. There he is, goes through to after taking the flag. Your results then: Tom Angier wins the race. Matthew Boulton in second. Matt Putland was able to beat out Dane Christensen to the podium in third. Christensen, of course, fourth. Mark Martin got past Vito Takers, who finished in sixth. Mark Martin in fifth. Of course, Terry Battersby then rounds out the grid in seventh. So let's head down to the pits, see who I have been able to catch. I think it is a group of 3, so that should be very interesting indeed. Alright, so I'm joined by the two that were pretty much inseparable throughout the course of the race, Matthew Boulton and Tom Angier. Start with you, Tom. You able to win that feature race too. I mean, I'm sure Matthew will say his car wasn't too great, but your pace was pretty good.
Yeah, I felt really comfortable, actually. I had a terrible start. Well, actually, I got a really good start, and then I got a bit overexcited into turn 1. Went really wide, down to 4th place, and I thought at the time, it's a real shame. I really like battling with Matt. It's been great battles all day. But I think the story of the day has been Matt's been quicker when it's been a bit wet, and I've been a little bit quicker when it's been dry. And I noticed that, maybe he did have some kart problems, but I noticed that I was able to reel him in a little bit. Spent a few laps behind him, and then eventually we had again great battle lasting a couple of laps. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Yeah, really pleased.
And Matthew, you're obviously the overall round winner here, so I suppose you're not going to feel too bad about having dropped a position in the final race.
No. As Tom said, it was a great race overall, and I'm sure, despite some issues, he overtook me around the outside. I mean, that's about as definitive as an overtake can get. I'm sure I did not drive it perfectly, and I like fighting. I like fighting with you. Yeah. So it's good to win overall, even if a position was lost, unfortunately. But yeah.
And I'll ask the last question to both of you, but I'll start with Tom. Milton Keynes next. I don't know what experience you guys have got around that track. Would you think it's a better track than either Tamworth or here, or how do you sort of feel about that track?
So for me, it's definitely better than Tamworth. Probably not as good as here. So probably second of the 3.
And Matthew?
I have no clue. I have not driven it, but But Tamworth was my second time on that track, so nothing's impossible.
Well, I'm sure you'll figure it out. But thank you very much for joining me, guys, and see you at the next round.
Yeah, thank you.
See you then. Well done.